She might be your mother, but who's your daddy? In a futuristic landscape, a robot known only as Mother raises a teenage girl known only as Daughter in a strange facility after an extinction-level event occurred wiping out humanity. When a mysterious stranger known only as Woman shows up at the facility, everything Daughter knows about the world around her is put into question. This is her story.
Everything I do is to protect you.
I Am Mother, guys. I Am Mother is the brand new Netflix sci-fi original film, and I am flabbergasted. I am floored. I am blown away because I did not know what to expect with this movie. I certainly did not expect this. You never know what to expect with Netflix movies. You really don't. You don't know if it's going to be good. You don't know if it's going to be bad, but for the most part, Netflix movies are mad. They are just once in a blue moon with Netflix. You run into something that's really, really great, but it really is a slim to no chance possibility that that's the case. But like I said, I was kind of blown away by I Am Mother, and I had to sleep on it. I had to sleep on what I could say, what I couldn't say, because there's so much data about this film that you could potentially ruin for somebody else that I had to think about what to actually say when it comes down to this movie. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. This review will be completely spoiler-free. Don't worry about that. I just might not be able to tell you as much as I would like to. Let's get into it. When looking at the people category, you're going to be looking at Mother. She is the title character. She is the most interesting. She is the most mysterious. She holds the knowledge about what's actually going on the world around us, and she's not exactly telling us. She's not telling us what exactly is happening. We don't know why. We don't know if it's an ominous reason. We don't know if it's a caretaking reason, like she's trying to protect us from the world outside. We just don't know what's going on, and that's kind of the heart of this film. We don't know, because this movie is a mystery, and it's a really good sci-fi mystery at the same time. Apart from Mother, there's actually two other people in this movie. Only two, and because of that, they hold importance to the film and to what's going on. You might not even know what their importance is until after the movie is done, and you keep on thinking about it, keep on thinking about why they're there in the first place. You start to realize how this all comes together as one masterful puzzle. So I really enjoyed the depth that the writers took into thinking about these characters and what roles they serve and why they're there in the first place and how they came to be and everything. They thought about everything, and I really appreciate that. The acting is really, really well done, especially from Hilary Swank, guys. Hilary Swank continues to impress me. I have not seen her in a million things, but every single time that I see her, she kind of blows me away. She really knows what she's doing. She really knows how to perform a role. Overall, the people category gets 16 out of 20 possible stars. The writing, though, guys, the writing is where everything is at. I love the writing. I wish I could give the writing a perfect score. There's only one thing that didn't get a perfect score for me, and that was the balance of the film. I'll get into that in a second. But everything else actually blew me away. There's an air of mystery in this film that the film completely revolves around. You don't know who to trust. You don't know who to believe. And you don't know who's supposed to be good, who's supposed to be bad, because it's not black and white. It's completely thought out and considered, and because of that, the audience has no idea what's going on until the very end of the movie. It kind of goes back and forth like a roller coaster. There's a lot of thought put into the importance of the dialogue. There's a lot of importance put into the theme of subtle things going on in the background that you might not even realize until a second viewing. There's a lot of depth going on in this movie that's actually meaningful that you might not even realize until you think about the movie after it's done. It is incredibly original and incredibly tense, and my interest was always piqued. I always wanted to know more. The only reason why I didn't give Balance full credit was because they wanted it to be a mystery. They wanted to keep you in the dark, and when they keep you in the dark, you don't always know what's going on. You don't always feel as if it's as balanced as it is. It's a very balanced movie, but you don't really feel that until maybe it's done, and even after that, you really have to think about the movie to realize what's going on. 9 out of 10. There's also a lot of thought put into behind the scenes, because you kind of know that the movie doesn't have the highest budget in the world, but the way they utilized what they had was amazing. The way that this movie looks and sounds is honestly quite immaculate. The lighting, the use of colors, the visuals, when it comes down to graphic, when it comes down to practical, it's all very, very well done. And so is the camera work when it comes down to framing. If you've ever gone to school for photography, you know what the rule of thirds is, and they utilize the rule of thirds amazingly. Also, the way that they utilize sound, specifically sound editing, sound mixing, was very, very well done, and it takes you into the movie just enough for it to stand out. The only thing I wasn't really blown away with was the editing. The editing seemed to be standard and typical. Nothing really stood out for me on that front, but everything else did. 9 out of 10. So the narrative arc, when it comes down to basics, introduction, inciting incident, obstacles, blah, 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 it's all very, very strong. It's very concrete. It's not perfect, but it almost is. The introduction does a very, very good job introducing you to the characters and the world around them, even though it's still mysterious, even though you don't know everything yet, you feel like you know enough, and that makes this perfect points. The inciting incident is basically when the woman shows up at the facility. You don't know too much about her, and what she's saying about what's going on in the facility is all very mysterious as well. The only thing that I have to say is not the greatest is the obstacles, because the main character doesn't really have a plan B that she's trying to get to, other than maybe just solve what the heck is going on. Who's telling the truth? And to find that out, she doesn't really have a plan of action. She's just kind of going with the flow and just kind of unwrapping things as it comes to her. Good climax, good falling action, everything is great. 9 out of 10. So I am a big fan of sci-fi. Is this movie entertaining to me? Absolutely, guys. This is one of the few movies this year in general that actually blew my socks off. I was so pulled in and invested into what was going on in this movie that I kind of forgot and toned out what was happening in the real world around me. It was just so inviting and so investing. So I did have a great time while watching, obviously, and I would rewatch this movie in a heartbeat. I kind of actually want to do that right this second, but I won't just yet. This is one of the few Netflix movies that I know that I would go off and tell somebody about this and recommend it to tell them to watch it so I could talk to them about it, because it's just one of those movies where you have an impulse to talk about it. And I know this is Netflix. I know it's Netflix, but I also have the impulse to own it. Maybe not so much buy it. I don't think I would buy it, but I wouldn't mind owning a physical copy of it apart from Netflix. Entertainment gets 9 out of 10. Specialty category, what do you expect to find out of I Am Mother? Well, as a Netflix movie, where does this rank among other Netflix movies? This may be the best Netflix movie I have ever seen. I can't say that for sure at this point because I didn't really think about it, but it feels like it. 10 out of 10. As far as sci-fi is considered, does it feel sci-fi, and does it have, fictional science, things like that? People laugh at me all the time, but when it comes down to science fiction, I look for fictional science that I haven't seen in other movies just like it. I want it to feel original, specifically when it comes down to sci-fi, and this does actually feel original. I won't tell you exactly how this is original over other movies that are kind of like it, because other movies are kind of like it in some regards, but it has elements, it has technology, it has things that feel unique to this movie specifically. Sci-fi gets 10 out of 10. As a thriller movie, is it thrilling? I think the mystery itself makes this movie thrilling. You never know what's going on. You never know what's going to happen next. You have no idea how it's going to end, and every time you get a hint of what's going to come next, you're kind of met with something else, and it's just butting heads from beginning to end, and you never know what's going on, and it is thrilling. 10 out of 10. Halfway decent. They make the movie that they intended to make from the get-go. Yep. They went above and beyond. They made the movie that they intended to make, but they made it so good that you can't stop thinking about it after it's done, which is amazing. 10 out of 10. The specialty category gets 40 out of 40 possible stars. Once we add up all these points, we get 92 out of 100 possible stars. 92%, which is a really, really good score, and actually places it in second place for the year. Once again, I've only seen, I think, 29 movies in the year as a whole, so I haven't seen a million, so it's not exactly a fantastic representation of where this is, but right now it is in second place as second best movie of the year currently. Guys, tell me what you thought of I Am Mother in the comments down below, and as for YouTube, you can subscribe me, hit that like button, hit the bell to be notified when I come out with my next review. And until then, peace out.